Morning everyone, and welcome to a brief presentation on the 2018 federal budget. Last night Scott Morrison handed down his third federal budget and probably the last federal budget for the Turnbull government prior to going to an election later this year. Whilst this was a strange budget and didn't contain an awful lot of headline announcements as such, there were several issues in there which will be of interest to both ourselves and our clients going forward. And what I'd like to do this morning is touch base on some of those issues for you. There will be a tech update coming out this morning, as well as a full tech bulletin this afternoon, which will cover all of these in a lot more detail, plus several other issues that we didn't have time to field this morning. So let's get into it. So firstly, the key highlight from the budget was the tax changes. So using some of the windfall that the government has received by increased revenues this year, they're proposing a rejig of the personal income tax plan over the next 7 years. The highlight of that will be that from the 2018-19 year, there will be a change to the low income tax offset, allowing taxpayers earning up to $90,000, phasing out at $125,000 to receive a tax offset. So whilst this will come into effect on the 1st of July this year, clients won't see that money until they do their tax return in the 2019-2020 year. For individual singles, this will be up to $540 as an offset, and for couples where both income earners are on average incomes, according to the Treasurer, they'll receive up to just over $1,000 as a tax offset. It's non-refundable, and as I said, it will be paid when you do your tax return in the 2019-20 year for the 2018-19 tax year. Part of the tax plan was also to simplify the tax system, and ultimately the goal will be to remove the 37-cent tax bracket. So there will be 4 tax brackets left in the Australian system: nil tax, a low tax at 19%, the moderate tax of 32.5 cents, and then the top marginal tax rate at 45 cents. So over the coming 7 years, there will be some changes to the thresholds, ultimately leading to a removal of the 37-cent tax bracket. The other major tax issue of interest to us would be that they have agreed to retain the accelerated depreciation for small businesses. So they've extended for a further 12 months the issue that was brought in the 2015-16 tax year, which allowed accelerated depreciation for small businesses with an aggregate of less than $10 million per year, which will allow them to write off up to $20,000 asset immediately. So they were the main tax issues. There'll be some more detail, obviously, in this afternoon's bulletin. On the superannuation side, they have looked to introduce some changes to fees, in particular that they will make a ban on exit fees from superannuation, all superannuation funds. How this works for existing plans, we're not sure, but they're talking about banning exit fees on all super funds. Also, they've looked at capping these what they call passive fees on superannuation funds with an account balance below $6,000. Those passive fees are going to be capped at 3%, and they include administration and investment fees. And that again is on all those small super funds. Also, they're going to look to beef up the ATO's consolidation program for small superannuation funds of less than $6,000. So again, trying to consolidate smaller accounts into a single place. They've also talked about introducing an opt-in for insurance as compulsory for all younger Australians. So that is members under age 25 must opt in to take insurance inside their superannuation funds. And the opt-in will also apply for small superannuation funds that are inactive. So funds that have not received a contribution in 13 months and are considered to be inactive, there will have to be some decision made on actually removing insurance from those funds unless the members physically opt in to retain that insurance. They've also looked at improving the work test exemptions for older Australians. So for Australians who have an account balance of less than $300,000, they will then get a 12-month grace period to make additional contributions to superannuation after the financial year in which they last met the work test. So particularly for our clients who are looking to potentially retire, sell an investment property or an investment asset of some description in a low tax year where they're not actually generating any income, they may still be able to use concessional contributions to help deal with some of that capital gain that may arise as a result of the sale of that asset. Interestingly, they've also said that the bring forward for concessional cap rules will apply, which means that clients may be able to contribute more than $25,000 as a concessional contribution to help deal with a capital gain, as long as it's done in the 12-month period or the financial year following the year which they last were able to meet the work test. There was also some changes in the membership of self-managed super funds. So self-managed superannuation funds will now be able to have 6 members, not 4. And that will also apply to small APRA funds, and that will come into effect from the 1st of July 2019, so not this year but next year. Finally, on the superannuation side, they were looking at changing or putting a covenant into the SIS Act to require that trustees of APRA-regulated funds provide a retirement income option for their members. This would be referred to as a comprehensive income product for retirement, CIPRs, so yet another acronym for us to get used to. The aim of these would be to provide income for life for members. Whilst providing this, it would not be mandatory for members to take up the CIPR option upon retirement. There was no commencement date announced for this. However, the government was proposing to release a position paper shortly and then open that up for consultation for the industry to consider. On the social security side, there was a proposal to expand the pension loan scheme to all older Australians. So basically all older Australians could take up the pension loan scheme, and that would be up to 150% of the pension, and you would be able to use use the equity in your home to help provide for additional income for those people. Not sure on all the workings are looking like at this stage. There will be an interest rate. At this stage, it's proposed to be a compound interest of 5.25%. It's almost like a government-supported reverse mortgage for clients who are past retirement age. There was also been a proposed increase to the pension work bonus. So rather than the $250 per fortnight, it's proposed that that will be increased to $300 per fortnight. So each partner in a partnership, so each member of the relationship could earn up to $300 per fortnight and still retain the full age pension, depending upon the other asset and income test requirements. So that's quite a generous change as well. Finally, there was some additional funding for aged care. In particular, the government is proposing $1.6 billion be set aside to provide an additional 14,000 in-home high-level aged care services on top of the existing services that are in place, and that's to be put in place by 21-22. This adds to the 6,000 places that the government has already put in. So quite a substantial spend on aged care. No change to the calculations or to the way that entitlements are worked out, but additional money being put aside for that. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a feel for some of the key highlights that came out. There were some other changes around childcare, and we'll have a look at those and get some more detail to you about that this afternoon. But I hope that gives you some information to talk to your clients about, and will hopefully answer several of the questions that you're likely to field today. So on that note, good luck for the rest of the day. If you need me, you can get hold of me. I'm in Sydney today, travelling to Perth tomorrow, but you can get me on my mobile 0416 036 987, or shoot me an email, richard.press@fiducianfs.com.au, and I will get back to you as soon as I can with any answers to any queries that might have. So on that note, thank you very much for your time. Hope everything goes well today. Have a great day out there, and I will catch up with you all soon. Bye for now.